Good evening, everyone. Monday, April 27th, 6:30 p.m. in the Eastern Standard Time. We are looking back at a wild, wild weekend at Talladega. Those words seem to go together, wild and Talladega. And not only on the racetrack, too. If you've ever been down on the infield in Talladega, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, um, man, crazy, crazy weekend. Had multiple first time winners across all three series that raced. The Arca Menard series raced there, and looked like Cletus McFarland, everybody one of their favorites, big YouTube star, was actually going to have a shot at the win. And him and Gus Dean apparently were bumping a little bit down the through the triangle and allowed Andy and I apologize. I'm going to apologize right now. Andy Koviak. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his last name, but he just went right around him on the outside. Pretty funny, too. He said when he was done, he just stayed going full throttle after the checkered flag around and was pulling away from everybody who had started slowing down because he thought the overtime finish was going to be 2 laps, not 1. So he didn't even know the race was over and he's just hauling. Then he finally figured it out, of course. I don't watch a lot of Arca Menard series. I catch it when I can. A lot of times I'll catch highlights and stuff on YouTube or through NASCAR's website. But that's where a lot of your young upcomers and people trying to, like a Cletus McFarland, trying to just learn racing and see if they can do it. So it's an interesting series to watch. Races are super short too. Got a friend of mine, Doug, joining in the chat down there. Good evening. See how he's doing down in Houston. So interesting little tidbit there on that. That's a first time winner. Rolling in to look at the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. This race was really, really good, to be honest with you. I was really, really impressed with this race. This was won by Corey Day, first time winner again. So we're having a lot of first time winners this year across all the different series, which is really good to see, bring some new blood, new life into the sport. So it was a really, really good race. Of course, you had, chaos with Rex, but your winning margin in this race was 0.154 seconds. So 1.5 tenths, something around that line. Your lap leader was Jesse Love, I think, with 37. I think he led the most laps. Yeah. We'll go through the finishing positions here shortly. But, Carson Kvapil won stage 1. Justin Allgaier, you heard me mention him if you've seen these reviews and previews all the time. But NASCAR enforced, I'm not going to say they started it, they started enforcing a rule of impeding cars, which, I mean, you're like, look, you're supposed to block cars from passing you, right? Well, when you do green flag pit cycles at these super speedways, you come in with 5, 6, 7, whatever cars come in, and you leave and you try to get lined up to create the draft as fast as possible. Well, sometimes you're coming back up on the track and there's already a line of cars coming that's lined up and they're running about 20, 30 miles maybe an hour faster than you. And used to be you would kind of pull up to try to block that line and force them to separate so they get out of the draft and it slows them down. Well, this can be a real big issue if you think about, you're on the interstate cruising at 70 miles an hour, and a car jumps from the middle lane right in front of you doing 40 miles an hour. And I'm talking with 10, 15 feet in front of you. You don't have much time to react. So if you go watch the race, you'll see some pretty phenomenal driving from Sheldon Creed. I think Sammy Smith was up there at that time, where they're literally just in and out of the cars, snaking back and forth to A, not wreck, and B, get around them and get lined back up as fast as possible. So Allgaier and Carson Kvapil both got busted for that. So the penalty for that, excuse me, is you have to go down pit road at pit road speed while everybody else is running about 175 miles an hour. So pit road speed, I want to say at Talladega is 50, could be 45, but I think it's 50. So you're doing 120 miles per hour less than the cars on the track. So it just destroyed their chances for a good finish. The Dash for Cash went on, of course. This was the third installment of it. We have one more race left. The Dash for Cash, if you're new, is paid out to. It started a couple weeks ago, and then the top finisher, that's a normal O'Reilly's Auto Parts Series driver, a regular. The top four were in, and then the winner of those four, whoever places the highest, wins $100,000. Well, Sheldon Creed won it last week, and so that whoever wins it the previous week is already in the next one. So Sheldon Creed won it at Kansas, and then of course Corey Day won the race in Talladega, so he is automatically eligible next week. Your four that are going to race for it are going to be Corey Day, Brent Cruz. Huge shout out to that guy. 18 years old. Man, keep an eye on Brent Cruz in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. This kid's going places, and he's going places fast. Sheldon Creed and Sammy Smith are eligible for the final installment of the Dash for Cash, which will be run next week in the great Lone Star State of Texas. So that's where we're sitting with that part. We go back and look at the results from the weekend. We'll run through there was 38 cars in it. We'll run through, and then we'll touch on the the fastest lap, because that gets you an extra point, and laps led. Laps led doesn't give you any points, but we'll kind of go through that. So some of these cars were better cars than their finishing position, because it is Talladega, and you will have crashes, and we'll get more into that when we talk about the Cup Series. So looking over here, this is your 38, David Starr, 37, Patrick Staropoli, Ryan Ellis, Josh Williams, Dawson Cram, Natalie Decker. Tyler Ankrum is a car you normally expect to be near the front. He's up in the O'Reilly Series, but he's mostly a driver of the Truck Series. But he was giving it a run, had a decent car, got involved in a crash. You can see a bunch of cars right here at lap 112. That's where you can see a bunch of cars were torn up. Roger Caruth, Taylor Gray, William Sawalich, that's low for him. Harrison Burton, of course, Jeb Burton. These two were running near the front when the crash happened that took all these cars out at lap 112. Jeb Burton. Sam Mayer was in the wreck as well, was able to not keep going. William Sawalich had come back out. I don't think he really made up any distance. See, where were we? There's the Burtons. Yeah, they were really high. You can see they both led laps too. Sam Mayer was running front. Sam Mayer actually went to the back. He got shuffled. He got hit and pretty much went sideways and saved it. and wound up gathering it back up, caught the tail end of the draft, and then immediately just worked his way back to the front before the wreck at lap 112 took a bunch of cars out. LeVar Scott, Justin Allgaier, you see that's and him, Carson Kvapil. They were up front, of course, but that speeding or the impeding the lane of traffic was what penalized them and put them back here. So Ryan Sieg, Garrett Smithley, Joey Gates, Kyle Sieg, Mason Maggio, who was actually, I believe he started on the pole in this race. I could be wrong from that, but I thought he did. Maybe he started in the top 10. Patrick Emmerling, Brennan Poole, Josh Bilicki. Yeah, Mason Maggio started 10th. Sorry, there it is right there. Austin Hill, who that's a pretty bad finish for Austin Hill on these steep tracks. He normally dominates these races. He's won a lot of Daytona, Talladegas, stuff like that. So Blaine Perkins, JJ Elliott, Austin Green. This guy is running in an underfunded compared to some of the big teams, and he just keeps himself there. This is a name I'm going to watch, see what he can do. He's got a lot of talent taking a car like that. Now, part of it was two other cars were wrecked, so we'll take that into consideration because, again, it's Talladega. Parker Retzloff, Brandon Jones, Jesse Love, Dean Thompson, Jeremy Clements. Amazing finish for Jeremy Clements in the top 5. Also had the fastest lap, 49.65 seconds. Sammy Smith, Sheldon Creed, Brent Cruz, and Corey Day, which were the top 4. And those are your Dash for Cashers heading to Texas, as I mentioned. Here's the points they earned for the race. So you got 37 points. That's really, really good for Jeremy Clements. Dean Thompson also was a really, really good finish for that team. All in all, I mean, it was just, Corey Day led one lap. But again, if you're going to lead one lap, you want it to be the lap that wins. And he did. So that's our look at the O'Reilly, how they finished. We can go give a quick look here. Let me jump over to the standings. And again, we're going to go through the top 12. Those are the ones that advance, and we'll actually look at the top 15, just because the top 15 are kind of near the cut line. So 15 would be Brent Cruz. Now remember, look at these are the number of starts in this column. He's only got 7. They've got 11, and he's still 15th. So he's right there on the cusp. Sam Mayer, Ryan Sieg, they're right on the outside looking in. Raja Caruth is in. William Sawalich, Parker Retzloff, Taylor Gray, Austin Hill, Carson Kvapil, Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones, Corey Day, Jesse Love, Sheldon Creed, and of course your points leader is still Justin Allgaier. He's got a 105-point lead on Sheldon Creed. 141. So you see the distance back. This is the distance back to first place, not to the cut line. So Raja Caruth is 268. So Ryan Sieg is 14 points behind. That's one race. He's 27 points behind. And he would be, 25, 50. What would that be? 25, 33 points behind Raja Caruth. So again, 1 to 2 races, and Brent Cruz could be back up in there. He's somebody I'm really, really watching just to see if he can pull it off with less starts than everybody else. He's much like a Corey Heim in the Truck Series. Excuse me. So you can scroll down if you actually have a driver you really like. You can scroll down and find them. This is not, there's 2 Austin Hills. So don't be like, he's got 2 points in. No, there's another one. There's an Austin Hill and I think an Austin Hill Jr. I'm actually looking for Green. I don't know if he's even listed. Oh, there he is. Austin Green. Yeah. He's made 11 starts and he's in 26th. I mean, not super great, but still got a shot. Still quite a bit to go. And it's after 24 races, and we've raced 11. So we have 13 races left to make up the difference here. So anything can happen. Still got some craziness coming up. I know for a fact we've got, let me see, Texas is coming up this weekend. If I'm not mistaken, after that, we head to New York. Yep. We're going to Texas. This is the craziest schedule. We're going to go from Talladega, Alabama to Fort Worth, Texas, up to New York, and then we do Delaware. So those aren't too bad. Last year was pretty crazy when we went from Brooklyn, Michigan to Mexico City. That was a haul for those guys, but that's here nor there, I guess. They're paid to do it. So we will definitely have a big preview coming up too for the races over in Fort Worth, because we'll have all 3 series. I'm going to check and see. I don't know if the ARCA series is racing in Texas. I'll do some research before the preview of that race. But we do have at least 3 series for sure. The trucks, the O'Reilly Auto Parts, and the Cup Series big boys are going to be going. So other than that, let's jump over and get into, the big boys. This, I'm not 100% sure yet. This was the first time that NASCAR has flipped the stages. They were trying to stop all the fuel saving at the end of the race and wanting racing. I mean, fuel saving is a strategy of racing too, but they wanted to do something to try to figure out how to make these guys run harder more. And it did that. They actually ran hard pretty much from the drop of the green flag. I mean, they kind of settled in for about 4 or 5 laps, and then you started seeing them break away. And I liked it. I don't know if I want to see it at Daytona, and I don't know if I want to see it again in Talladega when they go back there in the fall. I like a pit stop in the final stage. The problem with a pit stop in the final stage at a Talladega and a Daytona is a lot of times you're going to have a wreck because people are pushing hard, to get the win. So, guys kind of just make it until they know they can go all the way to the end. So I like the fact that stage 2 and stage 3 were pretty much wide open. There was no reason to save fuel. And I like that in stage 1, it was a 98, length stage. So if you pushed really hard from the beginning, you were going to have to do 2 pit stops. Unless, if you were able to save more, you could make 1 pit stop. The Fords, pretty much all Fords, made it on 1 stop in the first stage. And that's why you saw in the first stage a bunch of Fords dominated the stage points. But in stage 2 and 3, it was just kind of all go. And there have been some drivers come out since then and saying that they wish they could figure out that there would do something to reduce the drag. NASCAR would do something to reduce the drag on these cars, on these speedways, because it does make it really hard to pass. And it's hard to pull out a line and try to make something happen with all the drag that's on the car. So we'll have to see where they go. Now, I mean, NASCAR's still working on it, trying to learn, tweak, do what they can do. But to me, I thought it was a good race. The first stage was kind of a little boringish because it reminded me of old Talladegas, where a lot of people just got in the line and drove around in circles. There wasn't really a lot going on until the pit stops happened, and then you'd have some shuffling. But second and third stage, you started seeing, as they say, the business pick up, especially the second stage, which, the second stage had the big one. There's one every year at a Talladega Daytona race normally, and it happened. And I think it was 25 cars were involved. Not all 25 were completely destroyed and out of the race. In fact, Daniel Suarez, who drove his car backwards to go to pit road, got on his radio and said, I hit a lot of stuff, but I don't think I hit anything really hard. I guess that's a plus. But, you had, uh, name a driver, they were probably involved. Josh Berry, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, William Byron. I mean, just start naming drivers, and they were involved. What's up? Sorry, my wife was looking at my screen. So again, I'm not 100% sure on I like it. I think you could make it to where the first stage is maybe 88 laps, the second stage maybe 50 laps, and the third stage 50 laps, and that would force still a pit stop in the second and third stages. I don't know. We'll see where they go and what they do, and of course, if you're wanting to know how they're going to do it, I'll obviously, as soon as I know, y'all will know. That'll be brought up on my shows here. But getting into the recap, it was good. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the second. Your winning margin in this race, by the way, your winner was Carson Hocevar, who did, if you haven't seen it, go look up his celebration after he won. Never seen it. Everybody was pretty sure that was going to be banned starting today, and NASCAR has not said anything about banning it, so we're just going to let it go. But go watch it. It's different, and he's probably the only driver that can pull it off, just because he's huge, the tall wise. We'll put it that way. So huge congratulations. He's been close. We've had Ty Gibbs win his first race. We've now had Carson Hocevar win his first race. So, like I said, there's still a lot to be coming out of it. Believe it or not, that wasn't the biggest wreck in Talladega history. There was another one a couple of years ago where 27 cars were involved. So we didn't set the record. It's just kind of Talladega. It's what it is. It's what it does. That's why on my preview of this race, you'll notice me saying, here are my predictions. I wouldn't take them to the bank. And sure enough, I think most of them wind up out of the race. Some of them were able to get their car repaired enough to come run and gain a few positions on the ones that couldn't. So every little point helps. It was exciting for sure. Of course, my car, my Wood Brothers number 21 car got wrecked. So looking at, I was trying to remember who won the stages. I was trying to look real quick. I forgot who won stage 1 and who won stage 2. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see. Don't even see it on here. Yeah, I don't see him posted on there. Ross Chastain won stage 2. That's right. I remember that. I found it. Sorry. And Ryan Preece of RFK actually won stage 1. So let's go look at the results. We'll go down here. This is something different that I've noticed them putting on here. Down here at the bottom of the race results on NASCAR.com, you can see how many cautions, what was the fastest lap, all the different things. This was the average speed. So that's the average speed with all the cautions and everything. There was even a red flag put in, which that doesn't affect that. But 148 miles an hour for 3.5 hours. So yeah, pretty crazy. You can see, you're going to see names that you are not used to seeing down here. Kyle Larson, It was in 40th, Joey Logano, Cole Custer, Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Ty Gibbs, Josh Berry, McDowell, Keselowski, Gase, Briscoe. I mean, these are guys that are normally in the top 15 consistently, some contending for wins, and they're nowhere to be found because of that one wreck. Chad Fincham, Jesse Love, Connor Zilich. Trying to find there's Joey Gase. I wonder where he finished. Connor Zilich, Riley Herbst, Daniel Dye, Eric Jones, Nemechek, Cody Ware was actually doing a lot better than that through most of the race. Really, I like to watch Cody Ware, family-owned team. Shane Van Gisbergen, Dillon, Priest, Bell, Allmendinger, Hamlin, Reddick, Ty Dillon. Denny Hamlin has had a penalty on pit road. There was a lot of penalties on pit road, to be honest with you. Speeding, exiting. There was a lot of them. NASCAR did come out and say they did make a scoring error with Hamlin. They apologize. It is what it is. They're not going to go adjust everything. But there was at one point he should have been able to take a wave around, which means he doesn't pit and he can go around the pace car and get a lap back. And NASCAR told him he couldn't, but then they come back and realize that was a mistake. He should have been able to, but here nor there. It is what it is and how it ended. Tyler Reddick, like I said, Daniel Suarez, Todd Gillen, Kyle Busch. You're going to see a bunch of names in the top 10 that you normally don't see up here, like Noah Gragson. You'll see Stenhouse up there on these kind of tracks a lot. Cindric and Chastain are normally, decent. Zane Smith, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman has had a terrible year, had a good finish here. Chris Buescher, great finish, and of course, Hocevar won. Your lap leader, Chris Buescher, Ross Chastain, both had 22. Denny Hamlin, I think, Christopher Bell led 31 for the most laps led. Fastest lap, 48.26. And what did we say it was in the O'Reilly series? 49.6. So 48.2. So 1.5 seconds faster than the other car was this one. And of course, your point standings here. We'll go look at the standings. This takes the top 16 to the chase, which starts at race 26. We still have 16 races until that starts. So let's go down here to the top 20. Zane Smith, really, really shocked. Obviously that finish he just had helped a lot. So he's still out of the mix, but he's within striking distance. Would that be 59 points? No. 49 points behind Cindric. So Zane Smith, Shane Van Gisbergen, Ross Chastain, Chase Briscoe are all out of the chase as of right now. No other really big names down here, except maybe Alex Bowman, but he's missed a bunch of races while he was battling vertigo. So your chase drivers would be Austin Cindric, Joey Logano, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Priest, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Keselowski, Bell, Hocevar. He had a huge points day, of course. Buescher, Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, and your points leader is Tyler Reddick still, which after winning 5 races, that's pretty much no surprise. Your biggest mover was probably Hocevar, and Buescher moved up 4. Let's see if anybody else went up more than 4. I doubt. Oh, well, Ricky Stenhouse went up 5. I apologize, Mr. Stenhouse. Who went down the most? Let's see. I see a couple of 2s. Michael McDowell went down 4. Bubba Wallace went down 4. William Byron went down 4. So, yeah, those were your biggest fallers. Let's try to look at this here. Who do we have in the playoffs? We got 1, 2. We got all 3 Penske cars in the playoffs right now. We have a Trackhouse. Oh, I'm sorry, Spire. He moved to Spire this year. We have all 3 RFK Ford. I think there's 4 of them, actually, but 3 of them are in the playoffs, are the Chase. Both 23, well, 2 of the 3 2311 cars. And we got 1, 2, 3 Hendrick cars. 1, 2, and 3 Gibbs cars. So a pretty good variety. And then host of ours with Spire also. So you got a pretty good variety of teams in the mix for this year. So, of course, your big 3, Gibbs, Hendrick, Penske, are 3 of the big dogs in the sport, so to speak. So it's no surprise to see them up there. Other than that, there's really not a lot that went on at the track. It was just, it's fun, it's exciting, it's crazy. You're talking 3 to 4 wide at some points around this track at 175, 80 miles an hour. It's crazy. So I'm not sure what day, probably Wednesday, maybe Thursday will be the preview of the weekend in Texas. I'm hoping to have a couple of guests on with me. At least one. We'll see if they're able to make it. If not, we'll do our normal thing and break down the track and talk about past winners and just, get into it. So other than that, not much else really went on this weekend with it. We did have a comment that I kind of want to touch on. I saw this today on YouTube. Kind of want to touch on it. It's from everybody's, well, you either love him or hate him, I guess. Analyst on ESPN. I think he's on ESPN. Could be Fox now. I don't know. Anyway, but Stephen A. Smith came out and made the comment that, NASCAR drivers are not athletes. And I guess it's something they've heard for years. And I guess to a point, when you think of an athlete, it's not something you think of because everybody drives a car. But the difference is what they're driving. And these cars don't have air conditioners and radios and adjustable seating for you to adjust how you want to sit and rear and all these different bells and whistles that everybody has. They can't cruise around listening to their playlist on Spotify. So are they athletes? In my mind, yes. And I would love to hear people's input or output on this. Let's see. We can actually create a poll. Are NASCAR drivers athletes? So we'll put that out there and let people check on it, see what they want to vote. Are they going to go dunk a basketball or throw a Hail Mary or, hit a walk-off home run or grand slam or hell, get a hit or throw a strike or strike somebody out? Probably not. More than likely not. I'm going to go ahead and say that. One team owner can at least dunk a basketball. But I don't know. Like I said, answer it how y'all feel. I'd like, truthful. I think they are because of what they have to deal with. The G forces that are exerted on their bodies. The temperatures inside these cars is upwards of 120, 140 degrees. Yeah, they have little cool suits on when they work. Sometimes they don't. They have fire suits on. They're just all, and not even to go through the physical exertion of turning a car, a 3,500 pound car, through 33-degree banking. 3, 4, 5 inches off of another car at 170 with the mental capacity it takes to do it. So in my mind, I consider them athletes. That's just my take. A bunch of the drivers kind of said the same thing. They believe that they're athletes. They understand where he's coming from because, again, it's just driving a car. And it's not just turning left either. They are turning right too. So
they also say band members aren't athletes, but they proved that one wrong too.
You know,
if your heart rate and you sweat, you're
and that's the other thing my wife said. They said band members weren't athletes, but they've proven that wrong because they get their heart rate up and stuff when they're marching and carrying all that equipment they have to carry and the heat and all them, long pants and shirts and clothes and everything. So, to me, they are. But we'll close it out with this. The greatest answer came from probably the second greatest name in the sport.
You don't have to prep me up like that.
No. The best name in the sport we all know is Cole Custer.
It is.
The second best name is A.J. Allmendinger. A.J. Allmendinger was asked this question. And A.J. Allmendinger, his first response was, who? And they repeated, Stephen A. Smith. And he said, is he an analyst? They said, yeah. They said, does he cover NASCAR? They said, no, he's just a sports analyst. He goes, I've never heard of him. That was his only answer. I don't know what he said. Don't even know who he is. Have no idea. He doesn't cover our sport. Not worried about it. That, to me, was just the greatest answer. But AJ's one dude who speak his mind. He'll tell you what he feels. So, I hope everybody enjoyed the show. It's a quick little review. We do this pretty much every Monday. If my schedule permits, we will, again, like I said, Wednesday or Thursday, be back for our big preview for Texas. Other than that, man, y'all have a good evening. You can also, if y'all are looking for more stuff I've put out, it's TikTok. I'm on Patreon where I do giveaways. You can find me pretty much on all social media, just SEC Sean, and you can find me. I do mostly NASCAR content. We'll be throwing in some different things, a little bit of hockey talk coming up, a little bit of World Cup preview coming up. So we're going to have some extra stuff getting into the college baseball season, softball season. We'll have some of that coming up with my buddy in the chat there, Doug. His daughter actually plays softball in college. So we'll get together and talk about some of that. Other than that, y'all have a good start to your week. It's Monday evening. We got through the worst day. Now let's just crank it down to the weekend. Have a good evening, everyone.